It is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. Let's take a look at the pick from last week's video, which was Qubit. All right, so this guy is loading up here. So we got in Qubit over here. Position is up. Stock is up about almost 50% on the day, close to 50%. So nice gain here. May take some profits near the high over here. If we look at this D1 chart on Qubit, really nice follow through on this move. We could get some more follow through. We could also sort of fall back down, dip here. So we got this first dip. We got the compression. So just looking to totally take some gains on that guy. And closer to the high of the day. So that's what I have on that stock. I'm going to open up my dashboard here on the spreads. So this is a tricky thing about the spreads is that if I look at the expiration I have, so I am up. Spread selling about 130, pretty wide bid ask, 90-cent credit bid, 170 ask. So I'm going to have to kind of have it when it reaches up a little bit, see if I can get a fill on that guy closer to the mid. So we're kind of looking for that. But yeah, it's one of those things where you wonder, okay, well, if I had taken straight shares, would I have done a little bit better? But I might have done a little bit better, but my risk would have not been capped, right? So here it's, if I took the calls for 80 cents, right now it's a 50% gain on that position on those calls, but my max loss is capped versus if I took shares to get that same 50% gain, I would have had a pretty big cap to get the same amount of reward. So that's what I see in Qubit. Let's take a look at our positions today. So Netflix kind of just compressing, not doing much. GoDaddy also compressing, not doing a whole lot. Team kind of coming back down here a little bit. So let's look at this intraday, see if we have to make a judgment. Looks like there's a little bit of selling pressure coming into the stock. And it's unable to get above this level. So our key flip here is this 260 level. So we got this poke. If we get this lower high and we kind of break through that level, we may have to take some gains. But if we make a higher low, we move back up, then we're still good to ride in the stock. Taking a look at Reddit over here today. It looks like that had a little bit of selling. Had a nice move yesterday. Looks like there was some selling pressure today. Still above this higher low. So I like how we're still making these higher lows. And that's kind of the clue on days like this where you see the trend on Reddit is up. But because there's some heavy selling pressure, it's just going to take a while for us to absorb and soak up all of this supply. And then once that's soaked up, we have a chance to move up higher. Let me see what alerts I have on this. I have a good to cancel alert line. So looks like on an M15, we have a signal. So what if I am just going to set an alert here and make this an M15 buy signal, and I'm going to call this pullback. Okay, so that way I'll know when it flips. And yeah, so I'm just going to kind of see what the market brings this week. Speaking of the market, we have a pretty LPTE day, most common kind of scenario given the major pressing earnings. So market is in this tight range. Longer term basis, we're floating up higher. We're not exactly sure where it's going to go before we see a dip. I think we have a decent chance of floating up higher. I've talked about this in my market outlook. So I think for right now, I'm slightly biased to a break to the upside. I'm not 50-50 in this compression. I'm a little bit more like 60-40. Now, the 40% I split into two categories. The first is that we get a break to the downside that is relatively contained, right? And maybe we test what are all these alerts over here? I got all these alerts. If I drop a line right here, So we get a break to the downside that tests that prior high, 600-ish, right? 600, 602, even somewhere here, just a little bit of a poke, right, to these levels. And then we get a bounce up. So I think that's the more likely scenario. We could even get something to the 50 SMA. I think that's still fine as long as we're above this relative high. To me, the key is if we get a deep dip that breaks at 50 and actually breaks this prior low at 584. So that tells me that I need to be a little bit more cautious because this dip is a little bit deeper than I thought. Now, all these positions are, first of all, they're all on the money. So if on a worst case scenario, right, we're talking about like a less than a 5% or 1% chance-ish, very low probability scenario, I can still scratch out of the trade. So my downside is pretty contained. My upside is still pretty high. And what I'm expecting for is a compression. And ideally, what I mentioned is that I would love to see the market kind of hold near the gap right before the FOMC. That would be the most bullish. Doesn't look like that's going to happen today. It looks like we're just chopping around in this range. So unless we get a small gap up tomorrow that's kind of right at 606, right? 606, 607. That's where I want it to be before the statement and triple witching, because that provides us a very, very clear shot to get to the upside. So maybe we needed one more day of just compression and selling before we get like this. Let's zoom into the market. Again, past couple of days, not a whole lot going on. We're in this choppy trend. And what I notice is that here's this 602 low, here's this high of 609, and this range is collapsing. It looks like we are forming a wedge. And I'll put an alert right here. We're forming this wedge over here. So that's going to be lower ATRs here. Once we start get some move to one side, it stalls, and then we get a move to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here in the market, and we're just chopping around this range. If I put up the M5 here, this solid pink line is the A VWAP E from this opening candle level. From this all-time high, you can see we went above it, went below it. We're just kind of chopping around it, not doing a whole lot. These dotted red lines are A VWAPs from prior days, so you can see we're not really testing those that much today. There's a little bit of overhead resistance. Overseas, we had a gap down, but not really due to retail sales or anything major. Looks like just some overseas weakness. We got a probe here, and here's another little bullish sign, right? We had this low here from the 13th. We got this little buyers came in, scooped it up, and pushed it back up to a new high. So we got this range forming, and both buyers and sellers were kind of moving around here. Couldn't get anything going to the upside, starting to pull back over here. Market is moving lower. We got this compression at VWAP, sell signal starting to break. So I'm fine with this. I'm not super worried. We also got this 1OP bearish divergence, so not a bad entry for shorts, but I feel like there's a good chance we could make a higher low here on SPY, and I don't see us breaking this resistance before the economic release. And there's a good chance for us to bounce and kind of get back in somewhere to the range on the close. So that's what I'm looking at right now in the market. Very dead sort of day. Finding some strong stocks that are holding up pretty well. First one is IONQ. Like this, really nice doji sandwich on this guy. So IONQ, super strong volume yesterday, right? Massive break on heavy volume. Pulled back over here. We get a double bottom, higher low. So here's the first low, 39.25. Second low, 39.32. And then I get in on this VWAP break right here. I add a little bit over here, and you can see how well the stock is holding up when the market is declining. So now I just want to see that higher low in the market. And then a nice, strong bullish candle. Probably a nice little HA reversal, honestly, that we get a flat bottom HA candle. We get a close above that 8 EMA. I think we have a good chance then to slap back above VWAP. So that is one trade I am in right now. A couple of other trades with a similar pattern here. Net, really nice pattern. We got a beautiful breakout on the D1, right? So beautiful, beautiful breakout. And this stock here, we got the selling off, right? So you see it's in a wide kind of bullish channel and entered right over here on this break of VWAP support. You can see it's holding all the gains here, and we have a nice runway to the high of the day over here, probably somewhere around 119. So that's nice stuff in net. I also mentioned Qubit again. Let's see how this guy's holding up. Yeah, holding up pretty well when this market is declining. Entered right over here. This is a day trade separate from my CDS. So test, test, test. The clue on Qubit, bit of a tongue twister here, is that we never breached this low of 1422. You can see we made slightly higher lows, and then we got this pop up over here. And from 135 onwards, right, market's starting to get pretty weak. Not really doing a whole lot, compressing and not selling off. So Qubit's holding up decently well during the sell-off. I think has a pretty decent chance of testing the high of the day. But we're just watching to see what the market does. Now, on these day trades, if we do break through the low of the day, right, I want it to be a little more careful because we're seeing some stronger selling pressure. As long as this is contained, we make a higher low, I'm not worried about that. So I'm really kind of watching this upward sloping trend line as well as this level here. I really don't want to see the market get close to, this kind of 603 level. And I want to see us buyers start to scoop in below that level over here. So what can we do for today? Well, I already called out a couple of stocks that are holding up pretty well. I am going to give IONQ as my day trade pick of the day. I'm already in the stock, and I'm recommend it as a pick because I would already add it. So here's what I want to see in SPY and IONQ, which I just laid out. I want to see a higher low in the market, and I want to see us start to stall out on this trend and a nice bullish candle, right? A nice bullish candle with a little bit of follow through on this trend. If I see that, then I can take the trade. Now, it's a late day trade. We got 90 minutes, but you have a decent amount of room to the high. You got about $1 of room. And to VWAP, you also have, about $1 of room. So there's a nice little 1-to-1 here. If it breaks VWAP, you're out of the trade. That's my stop right now in the trade since I added this 40-90 level, right? We're still making still making higher highs, and it's holding up pretty well here. So, I mean, if it starts to get through this low right here, 41.37, I'm going to start to scratch out of the trade. So, pretty nice pick. Liking what I see in INOQ. A couple of other nice tags that I will mention today. First one, TMUS. Massive move down lower. Kind of missed that catch on the entry in the move here, but let's look at this on the D1 chart first. Ton of momentum. Looks like it's hitting that little bit of support here from this earnings candle. But I liked how it found some support at the 50 SMA, and then we flat open, broke through that low of the day pretty quickly. So there was a really nice early entry on this guy. Break, test. And it looks like I'd probably take it right here, or even right here on this beautiful sell signal on that guy at 255. And then you have a strong trend. First bounce failed. Second bounce. This is not really going down with the market, so I'd probably start taking some gains over here on the stock because we're losing some relative strength. But this is a really nice win if you could snipe this entry right around here, 255, 256. Google was one I was eyeing. It's looking decent today. It is forming some higher lows, but it's still below VWAP, so that's not really the setup that I'm liking. There's Workday. There is MBLY. This is a nice little setup over here. I already mentioned IONQ. Yeah, so it's all looking pretty good. Let's look at our friend Tesla. Tesla has been quite strong today. Oh, yeah. I am liking Tesla here. Look at this. So we got a gap up. Got this deeper low, but now it's actually rallying up with the market. Beautiful relative strength. Higher low on this guy. Certainly has a chance to shoot up over here. So I am liking Tesla. This could be the pick of the day as a day trade here. I really like this higher low at VWAP. Still on a buy signal, and you can see that we broke through this downward sloping trend line. That's breached to the downside. And we're above this pivot high here. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick Tesla. That is going to be Tesla or INOQ? That's the real question. That is the real question over here. I like INOQ a little bit better, but Tesla's looking pretty nice. It's looking pretty good. All right, I am. Ooh, this is tough. So it has some relative strength over here. Going to do a couple of stocks here. Oust is moving up here. RGTI. That has been on a tear. Another, yeah, it's another quantum stock. Let's see if it loads up here. Oh, yeah, beautiful moving in that stock over here. Beam. So just pointing at a couple of intraday charts here. These all have pretty good daily charts. I know right off the bat that they're at least B quality. So all of these charts are basically above all major D1 levels. Not ANF though. ANF is hitting some trendline stuff here. Let's look at Peloton. How's our good friend Peloton doing? Nice. It's a nice little entry here. Test, 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 test. Selling. This is a buying climax, so we have to get out over here. I mentioned net. TAC, kind of a low volume stock. Yeah, I'm liking Tesla here. So that's a condition. I think Tesla is a good trade if the market can hold and make a higher low. So that's going to be my pick. Tesla as a day trade long. We'll see if it sets up or not. Could even set up as an overnight swing. We'll see. But that's our pick for today. Thank you for watching, everyone. And we'll take a look at how Tesla did in the video tomorrow.